So today's question of the day is, what's your favorite dupe? Hey everyone, my name's Amanda. I'm kind of new here. Today is going to be try to get ready with me because I can. So, I'm going to first go in with the Ulta Beauty eyeshadow primer. I do my shadow first because I'm kind of messy, and then you can clean it up, right? So this stuff you only need a little bit of, but if you're watching how to get ready with me, okay. So you may only need a little bit of this, but I always get too much. So, you know, extra primer. That's what we're gonna go with. And yeah, so I just thought I'd touch base. I haven't really done a chatty get ready with me since like January. But yeah, it's now May Day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my chocolate and peaches from I Heart Makeup. Alright, I'm going to go in and set my primer with this color because it's closer to my skin tone. Yeah, so if you've been watching my videos, I've been putting on a brave face for the last month or so. Saying, I'm okay. I'm not okay. Or haven't been okay. Other than the obvious of getting braces, I have been dealing with a chronic illness that I've had. I was diagnosed in 2010 with multiple sclerosis. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild crease brush. I haven't decided yet. I think I'm going to do this color. I don't know names. It doesn't matter. You know. So, it started out with, when I went on vacation, I had vertigo, coming back. And we thought that was because I caught a kayak with my head a few times. The doctor said something about it, and well, I said something about it, and I got an MRI. Everything is fine. MRI shows no activity, no, if you ever have to go in and they are concerned that you may have a chronic, have MS or another demyelinating disease, the only way they can find out if there's activity, if there's anything going on, is with an MRI with and without contrast. So I went and got that done. I'm gonna clean that off with my Ulta color switch dupe. I'm gonna do that with both of the colors so far. And so anyway, this takes a while, and I'm loud about it. So yeah, anyway, so we went in, my husband and I went in, and he's like, okay, well, we'll do what we gotta do. It's been probably about 4 or 5 years since I've had an MRI, so it's okay. It was time. And yay, we thought, hey, the neuro and us. So yeah, the neuro, thought it was BPV. Benign positional proximal vertigo, which happens if you have rapid ups and downs. How I felt was kind of like if you've ever been to an amusement park and you've been on like the teacups or some variation of, you know, where you spin a lot and you can spin the wheel and maybe get more rotation. Well, I felt like I had just gotten off of the teacups all the time. Well, then say I'm on the couch and my husband or my dog or or whatever, there's just a slight change in up and down movement, in altitude, like inches. It's really not a big deal. I would then send me into, oh my God, we're all gonna die eventually. Well, we didn't all die eventually. I mean, we will eventually, but it was not that big of a deal. That ended up clearing up. Well, then I had issues with, I'm not getting ready, I'm just talking right now. Weakness overall. I would go to the gym and do my HIIT class, and I thought I was gonna die. I think, by the way, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this color because, yay, that's a fun color. And I'm gonna use this pure brush. Basically, I'm using all crease brushes. Meh. But I'm gonna put that all over my lid. So, I was at the gym. I thought, hey, this might be time to call 911. Turns out it wasn't. It was just, I was not good. It turns out, then, like the following weekend, I had issues walking. Like, seriously, like I could walk forward, or I could walk, but it would take like 30 steps to kind of get the, to really feel like I was walking, like to get in the normal gait. My gait was funky. I don't know how else to explain it. I went to the called the neuro, and they're like, probably nothing. And I went, okay. So I went to but before I call the neuro in an alarmist state, I usually will say, okay, let's go to my chiropractor friends. Let's do what we can, because like it or not, while some people are like, no, we don't do chiros, those guys are wonderful. And sometimes it just so happens they have exactly what you need. I cleaned off that pure brush, that pure grease brush, and now I'm dabbing some of this color in the outer V. So turns out my knee was rotated one way, my hip was rotated the other, and my ability to walk was fine in 30 minutes, which I'm pleased about. I am so grateful. So, go back to the gym, do my thing. I'm in my HIIT class, and I'm finding I'm weak. We were doing press, bicep curl to press, and we ended up, I have a fair amount of strength. I'm kind of a big deal to myself. So anyway, I ended up, I'm going to blend this, going to from 25 pounds to 12, which is not okay with me. The next day, I had to go to work out with my personal trainer, or maybe it's the next week. Maybe we'll say it's the next week, because You know, I'm just like, eh, I'm just having an off day, you know. So I end up, I'm going to use this little eyeshadow thingy and go on the center of the lid with this peachy color, because it's nearly the same. So I go in and to the orthodontist to fill out paperwork, and I couldn't write. Like, I could write, but it looked like a 6-year-old who was just learning how to write. Was filling out the paperwork, and that is not how I write usually. And so I ended up going, this isn't okay. And the same day I also worked out with my personal trainer, because, you know, I'm lucky. I'm really lucky. And I also so I work out, and my right side, I go to do a bench press, and I can bench probably 105 easily. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of a big deal to myself. That day, we had to lower my weight to 55 pounds, and then, and on the same time, at the same time, yeah, talk about a blow to the ego, by the way. At the same time, I was having issues with, like, I went into the ortho the very next, like, hours later, and so naturally I was scared. This isn't normal. And so I ended up, we're gonna go with the angel veil, and we're gonna do the next pore filler as well. So, and that needs to be blended more. So, needless to say, I was, I knew what was going on. I knew what it was, but I'm the type of person who is going to write stuff out and just be like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna see the neuro in June. This isn't okay. But, you know, it is what it is. My husband, I'm talking to him, and as goofy as he is with his hand, he is one of the sweetest, most incredible men ever. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with the Angel Veil now from NYX. But he ended up, it's 9:30 at night, and he called up to my neuro, which is an hour away. We chose to go to a teaching university because we could. Needless to say that they called the very next day, and they were like, what the F is going on? And so we ended up, they said, you need to go to the ER, like, and get that checked out. Well, because I knew I wasn't bleeding or anything, I got my hair cut. That's where the bangs come in, and while I'm doing the get ready with me, we're letting my hair air dry. I'm gonna use a pore filler here. After I got my hair cut and we went to the ER, we met another patient there, we'll call her C, and made friends in the waiting room. But we went to the ER, and they went through their thing, and they're like, yeah, so you need to we're gonna have you do a CT. And I was like, excuse me, CTs don't work for me. And I had to educate them, and I'm like, the only way that you're gonna see activity is through an MRI with and without contrast, which is where that came in. And they ended up not seeing that. They were able to get a hold of my neuro and say, hey, we have one of your patients here, and he knew I was there. I followed his instructions, and they were able to give me a high dose of prednisone. Well, first they do salumedrol, and then they do prednisone. For my foundation, I really like the stick foundation from Flower Beauty because, well, I paid for it, and it was on clearance. Then they gave me prednisone, like, and so you know the high dose I was on 1,000 milligrams for the day, 500 in the morning, 500 at night, and that's fun. And there was no taper. Last week it was I did that on 4/20. So if you follow my social media and you which I'm kind of new here, 17 on everything. I do have a Snapchat, but I rarely use it. I like this thing. I like the brush, but I like the foundation quite a bit with the use of the brush. You may have seen the fact that I was in the ER, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Other than the very next day we had to celebrate a wedding, and I was pretty excited about that. Just because they're two very good friends of ours, and we're just really happy for them. J and K, or K and J. I haven't decided. They don't have really cool initials like my husband, were T and A, and I love that. So anyway, when you're on that high of a dose of any, I'm going to say prednisone specifically because that's my experience, then holy heck, you are setting yourself for some mood swings. So the next that Sunday was my last dose, and about 12 hours later I went to my gym just to let them know I'm alive and this is what's going on, and I talked to my personal trainer and I say something like, I just want to say thank you for everything that you do, and she's like, that's what I do, and I'm like cried, and she's like, oh, I'm like fighting back tears, and she's like, what the hell, dude, seriously. I find that extremely funny, but it is what it is. And I forgot to wet my brush or my sponge. I'll be right back. Oh hey guys, I'm back. I totally forgot to tell you that, but what I'm doing is, just because I used a brush to blend in, I got it really close to my mirror, because you know that's where you see all the imperfections. And went, oh, I had to do something about that. So what I'm going to do now is, I do have Naked Skin color perfecting fluid. I believe it's in the color peach. We're going to put that underneath because good lord, those are looking like they need some help there. So anyway, went to the gym, fought back tears, mood swingy, but I was not good for about 4 days. Went back to the gym the following week with my personal trainer the following Thursday, right when I got my braces, and was able to talk, and I was fine. But so that's what's been going on for the last week. If I haven't seemed like myself, I'm going all over it with the instant age rewind because I'm extra like that. And while I don't need to go in like Instagrammer or in the triangle, I put too much on. So we're going to blend that in with the sponge. So yeah, I have, I'm doing fine now. It turns out that, I was having a MS exacerbation, which happens. I mean, it's been 8 years since I've had one. I am a lucky one. It's just, that's why I've been kind of funky the last month or so. I'm using a Coty Airspun in translucent. This, I'm going in with Poof because maybe, and it smells like my grandma. It reminds me of my grandma. So yesterday, I took a day to myself rather than filming more than a few minutes, and I went and took my dog kayaking. Now, what I will insert a picture somewhere around here. And he's such a happy dog. I'm going to take a brush and brush off any excess powder. So my camera just told me that we missed a lot, but just so you know, guys know what I've done is we've put on foundation. We used the Flower Beauty foundation. We've used the Cheek-a-thon, and I've gone in and did my eyebrows. And I used the Ultra Slim Brow Pencil from Ulta and Waking Looks that we got in BoxyCharm a while back. And I also used the Brow Gal in, yeah, so all is well. For the cheeks, I went in with my Cheek-a-thon, and so you know what I went in with. I did use Dallas, and so there's Dallas, and I topped it with Rockateur, and that wasn't supposed to fall. I did use the bronzer, the Wet n Wild bronzer, and then I also went over with what's it called? Hoola. I'm gonna do a quick mist. I have the natural finishing spray from Wet n Wild. I know I said I use this a lot. Oh, I need a highlighter. I think I'm gonna do since I'm doing a somewhat natural look, I'm gonna go in with the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Here's a highlighting brush. And what I like about this highlighter is it's not too, I don't really care for the blinding stuff because, you know, age. I'm 38. The blinding stuff probably doesn't work for me. I'm gonna go ahead and tightline with Sex Kitten from Tarte and straighten my bangs, and we'll be back. Okay, guys. So what I did is for the final thing, I straightened my bangs. I put on the color Date Night that we got from the Beauty Crop. It is a liquid lip in our BoxyCharm a while ago because I have it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I went in and tightlined with the Sex Kitten that I got in an Ipsy bag because, once again, I can. But I also, curled my lashes, and I have put this Pixie lash primer, and I like used the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lash. Guys, this is such a good combo. Yay. So, yeah, that's what today's look of the day is. And thanks for getting ready with me, guys. So, the question of the day. What's your favorite dupe? Yeah, so remember, if you guys like what you see here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And yeah, your favorite dupe. Go ahead and tell me. Alright, we'll talk to you later. Bye.